Bengals fans are amazing. They're resilient, they're tough, but they're fun. And I'm really excited to hopefully meet a lot more of you.
Isaac has the big game. Then we became a real balanced offense for the playoff run, which I thought was really important.
He put on the greatest route running exhibition I have ever seen in my life.
He was football 24/7, and that was the greatest part of Chad.
At times, the early part, I would tell him when we were throwing deep passes, I said, don't wait too long, because I'm going to get away. If you ain't going to have the arm to get there. So, I want to run to the ball,
Well, Duke, looks like Duke's in the waiting room. I don't want to keep Duke waiting. He gave us a very limited amount of time. I know he's a busy man. Duke, what's going on, big dog? How you doing, buddy?
Jim, how are you, man? Thanks for having me on. Yeah,
Hey.
I'm real busy. I'm sitting on my porch.
Yeah, well, hey. Have a little drink going on there.
Joe Burrow has played in big games his entire life, and I would think he will be a steady hand at the bow of the ship. And I think I wouldn't be surprised if they take him all the way to the Super Bowl. I really wouldn't.
Live from the Betfred Studios in Cincinnati, Ohio, and Lori's China and Teacup Emporium in Indianapolis, Indiana. It is the Bengal Jim and Friends special schedule edition show brought to you by Cincy Beer Fest, which is coming June 10th to TQL Stadium. And without further ado, here is James.
What's up, Tom? Happy schedule release day.
Happy schedule release day to you. And I know some of those dates are bringing you a lot of relief and enthusiasm. We've already talked, but it's finally here. We've been waiting. We've known who we were going to play. Now we know when, and everybody can start making their plans for the fall and the holidays accordingly.
No doubt. A lot of people tuning in here. We appreciate them logging in, saying hello. We're going to make this interactive as we can. So if you have comments, anything you want to talk about, definitely do that in the comments. See Big Al, Cookie Girl, our boy Brandon. Everybody's in the house tonight. So we appreciate everyone for joining us. And AJ in New York here. Everybody's here. But now we can officially plan our fall.
You can. Starting with, for many of us, a trip to Cleveland to start the season out. But even before that, I digress, the preseason and a very busy August for Bengal fans.
Hold on one second, Tom. I'm getting all sorts of feedback here. Why is James echoing? Man, all sorts of problems here. All right, Chris, hold on. Try logging back in. Your screen is black. Chris says, hold on. We're going to get this fixed. Tom, log back in. All right, we're going to try. There you are, Tom.
There we are.
All right. Do we have an echo now? Is the echo gone?
I'm good.
All right. Let me do this. Give me 1 second here. The joys of There we go. Can you hear me now?
There we go. Yep.
We're good. We appreciate everyone working through that little glitch with us, and thank you. Let's just start at the top here. We preseason, if we look at it from a season ticket holder perspective, Riley's like, I got to pay full price for preseason games. How many do we have to sit through?
And the answer this year, Tom, is
One. Looks like week 1 of the preseason, we will be up against the Green Bay Packers. But even before then, a special season and a special August for Bengals fans. Week before that is Hall of Fame induction day up in Canton for Ken Riley. And then after that, the week following, we will open the preseason hosting the Green Bay Packers.
So we're going to pop this up here real quick so everybody can see it. It's all over social media, as I'm sure people got emails, texts from their friends. 1 preseason game at home against Green Bay. Then we go to Hotlanta, which will be interesting. We know Jesse Bates is now a Falcon, so we'll see our old buddy there for preseason. And then the Commanders at Washington for the third and final preseason game. But just simply looking at the preseason, we're not going to dwell on it a lot. Glad only one home game. I think the one thing, if we're looking at preseason, we're going to see a lot more of Joe in our offensive line, so we don't run into what we happened last year, week 1. But I'm happy. Any other thoughts on preseason?
I think we'll see some of Joe in the offensive line, but truthfully, not a lot. That's a very, very, very deep within Zach that he does not like playing his starters and risking injury in the preseason. You see so much of that even in practice. So, but yeah, I would think we'll see at least some of Joe and the regulars at some point during the preseason, but even then, not for very long. Just to work on a little bit of timing and wait for that week 1 game against Cleveland up in Cleveland.
So week 1 on the road, if I'm not mistaken, Tom, you can probably correct me. Joe Burrow's rookie year, we were home. That was the COVID year when nobody was allowed in then PBS Stadium. 2 years ago, was it Minnesota that we opened up with?
Right.
At home. That was a warm September day. Got the win, and then we know what happened last year. So this will be the year 4 for Joe, and the first time that we're going to be opening on the road. So that'll be interesting to see. And if we look at the schedule as well, first 2 games, AFC North rivalries. So it's important to get off to a good start.
Yeah, right off the bat against the Browns, and make no mistake, while we like to have fun with the other teams and particularly our rivals, the Browns are stacked. They are very, very talented. You don't have to like who they have. I don't, but they've got a ton of talent there. They're more talented than they were a year ago, and I guess they're going to be looking at Deshaun Watson having the rust knocked out of him. Knocked off him, and hopefully the Bengals can knock him around. But they're good and they're dangerous, and they give us fits. That's for absolute certain. So it'll be a very tough test on the road week 1.
No doubt. It doesn't get any easier week 2. We know Lamar Jackson signed that big contract, but something you said earlier, a lot of pressure on Lamar. So we'll see what happens there in week 2 as we travel to Baltimore.
Yeah, the Ratbirds week 2, and a lot of pressure on him with that enormous new contract. He got a first-round wide receiver. He's got Odell Beckham Jr. He should have all the toys. He has everything he needs: a very powerful rushing attack, a good offensive line, and a great defense to help him when he's off the field. So yeah, another big challenge week 2, and both of those divisional games.
The one thing last year, if you look back at last year, and not to dwell on how the season started because it ended so well, we started off in an 0-2 hole, lost at home the opener to the city in Western PA, and then went down to Dallas, I believe, week 2 on the road, and just struggled even on the offensive line and some other issues. We know how the season turned around, but it'd be nice to start off 2-0 versus 0-2, especially with both of them being AFC North games.
It's like each of those games are like 2 games when you're playing in the division.
Let's see. Going to week 3. Jim has a good point here. Tickets for his first Ravens game are going to be nuts. So not only, and I don't know, going back all the years, not only are we opening week 3 at home, but on Monday Night Football. Tom, can you ever remember opening on Monday Night Football in Cincinnati?
Never. No. Back in the days when it was such a privilege to be on Monday Night Football, when there was, that was the only primetime game of the week. The Bengals visits there were few and far between. And, I myself never had a problem with that. I think a football player and a football fan has an alarm clock inside of them. It's ready to go off at 1:00 every Sunday. And certainly that was the case during the Marvin years. The alarm clock never went off at night, but Joe Burrow's a primetime quarterback. He likes the lights. He plays well under the lights. He leads them well under the lights. So it'll certainly against a team that barely got by us in the Super Bowl and won the Super Bowl and dashed our dreams there. We'll have that fresh in our memories, and it'll be week 1. And it also would not surprise me if that ends up being the Ring of Honor game.
Yeah, and Nate had a good point. I apologize. For some reason I was thinking on the road. Week 2 is at home, and then week 3, Monday Night Football. You did say possible Ring of Honor game, because if Bengals fans remember, and we were talking about this before we came on the air, when's the last time we have not had a home Thursday night game? And that's usually been that end of September timeframe. This year it's going to be Monday night instead. And as you alluded to, Tom, probably that Ring of Honor game where Bengals season ticket holders will have an opportunity to vote on the next 2 gentlemen to go into the Ring of Honor. And from the tailgate perspective, for those that like to come hang out with us pregame, we always have the band on Thursday night, the live band. We've already talked among us about having that band for Monday Night Football, which I think will be just as big, if not bigger. So that's going to be a fun night making that all happen. And we'll touch on a little bit later, but 2 Monday Night Football games this year as of right now. And later one on the road. But let's pop this schedule back up and look at week 4. I don't know, when I look at the schedule, we look at the teams, you look at the dates, and then you look at the cities, and we knew Nashville was going to be on the schedule for this year, but Nashville, such a fun city. We had a great turnout at the tailgate we did last year. We're going to do it again this year. Fun party town. I think I don't know what our record there is in what was it, Nissan Stadium? I don't even know what the name is now, but we've had some pretty darn good luck in Nashville the last handful of years, and hopefully that continues on in week 4.
Everybody, and you've been down there for all of them, but everybody raves about the hospitality and the people down there, how well Bengal fans are treated, what a great city it is to visit, what a great stadium it is to visit and tailgate, and most important of all, the Bengals have played very, very well down there the last several years. I look for that to continue this year. Hopefully we'll roll in there healthy and ready to contain them and go from there and take care of business.
Brandon's excited. He's got his cowboy hat ready. Beer Fest Craig, who you thanked, who was going to have the Beer Fest June 10th, sitting on a tarmac in Maui on a little R&R, much deserved R&R. So Craig, enjoy yourself out there. But yeah, Nashville is going to be a lot of fun. Week 4, but then again, too, if we pop up the schedule, 3 out of the first 4 against AFC teams, Cleveland, Baltimore, and Tennessee.
Top AFC teams.
Correct.
Danger AFC teams.
So that's that. And then we go to the desert in the following week, Sunday, October 8th, 4:05 Eastern kickoff. I think the last time we played there 8 years ago, of course, our old dear friend Carson Palmer was suited up for the Cardinals. They got a man of much smaller stature, be at quarterback there now for the Cardinals. But I know that's another road trip that a lot of Bengals fans were looking forward to, heading out to the desert and catching the Bengals out there at what is that place called? I can't keep track of all the stadiums.
They changed their names, but it'll still be warm out there, won't it? I mean, you've been out there.
It'll be warm, but another fun facility, fun place to visit. I'm sure a lot of Bengals fans have gone out there to watch the Reds for spring training. Glendale is a nice area. Scottsdale's just north of it. State Farm. Thank you, Brandon. We need you on screen tonight to keep us straight. So State Farm Stadium, which just hosted the Super Bowl last year. So premier venue, and that's where we end up on. Let's see, what's the date again? Let me get this pulled up. The date again is October 8th.
Yeah, I don't know about you, James, but when it comes to the Cardinals, I think the luckiest guy in the world, and I know he wants to be a head coach and deserves it, even though we selfishly want to keep him, is Lou Anarumo. Did not get that dumpster fire out there. It's I think it's going to take a while to turn that around, and hopefully the long plane ride out doesn't take it out of our boys, and we can come back with a W.
Yeah, that's a good point. Lou was one of the finalists for that head coaching job that they ended up hiring the Eagles defensive coordinator. So we'll see if Lou feels a little snubbed and hopefully takes out that aggression on Kyler Murray. And I don't even know who else they got out there anymore. I think J.J. Watt retired, right? We got Marquise Brown, a wide receiver, the former Raven, and then they kept trading back in the draft, and I don't even know who they ended up drafting. But Phoenix, Glendale will be a lot of fun. Nick says Murray won't be ready for that game. So is he coming off an ACL maybe? Yeah.
Yeah, still. So. Yeah, that's right about the time. I think they were targeting right around November 1st. So, it could be one of those miraculous recoveries, but yeah, I think that's pretty optimistic he'll be there.
All right, and then week number 6, back at Paycor against the Seahawks. The Geno Smith-led Seahawks. That's one of the few 1 o'clock kickoffs, and that's something that if you look at the schedule as a whole, you see a lot of primetime games, a lot of 4 o'clock games, and then that is one of the few 1 o'clock games, and of course a lot can change with schedule flexing and things like that. Seahawks come to Paycor Stadium. Thoughts?
The Seahags are improving. They're young, but they're improving. Geno Smith had a career year. Finally got to show he was a legit NFL quarterback with confidence behind him. They seems like they draft well every year, and they did this year as well. They just always draft well. They're young, but they're good, and it should be a great test. But hopefully, with them having to fly all the way into the Eastern time zone, that'll zap them a little bit. And boys,
kind of a rematch. What was it? 4 years ago, we opened the season, I believe, out there in Seattle.
Zach Taylor's first game.
Zach Taylor's debut came close. John Ross, one of the few games I think John Ross showed up for as a Cincinnati Bengal, and I think it came down to the end. Seahawks ended up winning, but they'll come to Paycor for the first time in 8 years on a Sunday, October 15th. So looking at the first 6 weeks of the season, go ahead and type it in the comments. What's the game you're most look forward to? Is it the Monday night game against the Rams? Is it maybe visiting Arizona for the first time? Go ahead and put it in the comments there, which one that you're looking forward to the most. And I agree, Nick, Seahawks could be scary. DK Metcalf, they got the running back out of Kenneth Walker there out of Michigan State, I believe. That's going to be a tough matchup. I don't think they're going to beat us on Geno Smith's shoulders, but if he manages the game, and Pete Carroll's a solid coach, so we'll see what happens.
They've got a good, athletic, young defense, so I'm glad. I'd much rather play them here than out at their place.
For sure. And then the one thing we talked about before we came on air, an early bye. I can't remember a bye being this early in quite some time. Week 7 for our bye week.
Yeah, I would much prefer it in mid to late November. I think even one year not too long ago we had it in December. But it always seems like when the bye week comes, it's needed. So we do have the mini bye in November before the stretch run. But yeah, it will. Yeah, I would prefer it later. But hey, we'll have a weekend to enjoy the fall foliage in Bengal land and watch the other teams beat up on each other.
A lot of comments here about Jacksonville. We're getting there, I promise. Looks like a lot of people are excited about.
I told you that the heavy speculation for there was everybody wanted to get down there when it was still warm, but we'll get to Jacksonville here shortly.
We will get there. All right, let's get the schedule back up after the week 7 bye. on the road in San Francisco. San Francisco being a team that many are talking about as one of the top teams in the NFC. We saw what they did last year in making the strong run to the NFC championship. And with that said, I was going to add you, but just no, hold on.
Somebody
introduction here. Jeez. So you think the show was named after him or something? So straight from the Sam Hubbard charity event in was that at downtown Cincinnati? Tom?
Wait a minute. It just a little northeast of Cincinnati, just between Norwood and Columbia Township. But I think the breaking news here is that if he's here this early, he did not win.
He did not win. He did not win. You want to do the introduction for this next guy we're going to bring on?
Certainly. Go live from Trisha's basement. Here's Jimmy.
Hey, Dell and I purposely lost the first game of the Foaling tournament so I could get here, at least log on to the show. On the drive home, I've already booked my flights and hotels for every away game for the year. I cannot wait. I'm so damn excited about this, guys. It's going to be fun.
Hold on. It's a perfect time. We're just at the bye week in the schedule. Let's talk about this Foaling early exit. Now, who is your team?
All right, me and Dell, we were in the Final Four last year, and we lost our first two games, won the last two, and we lost in sudden death. And I got to give it to Caleb and his buddy. They beat us in sudden death. It was a great first-round matchup.
You lost to Caleb?
You know, it was his friend. His friend played college quarterback. Caleb didn't knock down a pin the whole time. Just saying. No, they did good. They did really good. They were really good. So, hey, guys, I'm just going to tell you right now, man, it was the biggest Foaling tournament in the country. There's multiple Foaling warehouses across the country. It was the biggest one they've ever had. Guys, I've never seen so many former players, current players, and fans in one place under one roof at one time. It was an amazing turnout, guys, and it was very fun to see. Great time. All the local media was there. Tons of Bengal fans. Everybody was having a good time. I know, I wish everybody was able to be there, but I'll tell you what, it was a lot of fun. Skyline was there. Trying to think all the other places that were there. Diesel Pizza La Rosa's was there. There was all kinds of food and drink. It was a blast. Absolute blast.
Chris, we don't know because Jim was like, it was like the NCAA tournament. He was knocked out in like the play-in game. He didn't even make like the 64. So to answer your question, we don't know, Chris. It wasn't Bengal Jim. That's all. It's going to go on to the wee hours of the night. I wasn't staying. I was coming home so I could get on with you guys. I was so excited about the schedule, guys. So I don't know where you left off at. Where are we at in the schedule right now? Perfect timing. We just hit the bye, so we're recapping the first 6 games. We know we start on the road, the city up north.
Yep.
And then home Baltimore, which 2 AFC North games back to back. And the third one, home Monday Night Football, which Tom is projecting that will be the Ring of Honor game.
Is it? And is that October or November? I can't remember.
That is
September. Third game. I'm hearing it might be November, but I don't care when it is. We'll be there, Tom. I'm with you, buddy.
You know, the other thing, I don't know if I mentioned this. I'm losing my mind, but that weekend of the Rams game, big weekend in Cincinnati for football. Oklahoma plays at UC. Big 12 matchup. Big game for you. I don't know if that's UC's first Big 12 football game, but the Sooners will be rolling into Cincinnati, so you can come and do a football double. And I've also been told that guy that used to produce the show that lives up in Canada, what's his name, Tom?
That would be Jamie, and I spoke with him today. He is good spirits. He is well, he's also coming in for Jungle to the Hall, which is a bigger announcement for later. But he is out of the darkness retreat. He's just bounding with energy. He's coming down from multiple games, coming across the international border. Can't wait. He's going to be here for several games. He's going to be here for Jungle to the Hall, and he's bouncing with energy. Unfortunately, couldn't make it on with us tonight, but yeah, absolutely. Everybody's favorite Canadian, even in a lot of polls, more popular than Wayne Gretzky, is coming to Cincinnati.
Yeah, and
so James, real quick. So I think Nick in the chat area right now probably hit it on the nose. What a better game for the whiteout game than that Monday night versus the Rams, right? I mean, you would think that would be it.
You would think. And I also said this is the first time we haven't had an early Thursday night game, in which we know what happens at the Bengal Gym tailgates on Thursday nights. We have a live band. So our hope was that live band would be there for that Monday night game and have the southeast corner of Lottie rocking.
Yeah, I got a feeling that we already got a call into the Trailer Park Floozies. I think we're going to make that happen. I got one more big announcement, guys. I don't know. Everybody comes to a tailgate knows 16 lots in Dell Hall. What's the date on the bye week? October what?
22nd.
Okay, two things that weekend. Ryan and Kelsey, my son and his fiance, their baby is due on the bye week. How we pulled some strings to make that bye week happen on the delivery of the baby. And Dell Hall and Amy are getting married on the bye week down at 16 lots down in Newport. So big bye week, man. We don't have a bye week. Everything's going on.
Scheduled before, or did that just happen to coincide for even Dell?
It just happened about an hour and a half ago. I'm dead serious about this. I'm not joking.
Jimmy is a dad of two and a grandfather of one, which is going to be grandfather of two sometime in October. I can tell you this: it doesn't always go as scheduled.
Well, we got a window there. It just sounds good. I'm just saying.
You got an expanded window of safety there, but it doesn't always go as planned.
Yes.
Oh, well.
Cannon will say that as well. He came out a couple weeks early. All right, back to the schedule. We did mention October 29th at San Francisco. Two early road games that I think a lot of people had circled. I think a lot of people talked about the game in Arizona. A lot of people talked about San Francisco, and comments are already blowing up about Jacksonville, which we will get to. So two popular road games early, both in October, going out to NFC runner-up team last year with Mr. Irrelevant Brock Purdy, October 29th, San Francisco. And again, that's another quarterback. Is he going to be – where's our man Nick? Nick's been informing us of all quarterback issues. Is Brock Purdy?
Here's the interesting thing about Brock Purdy. He could have had Tommy John surgery, which evidently would have ensured he would come back beyond 100% at 110%. And the 49ers evidently put their arm around him and said, nah, get the surgery that'll get you back for training camp. Yeah, and evidently the rumblings are that he's kind of, I'm not sure if I'm going to be ready, and I'm not sure if it's going to be at 100%, and that's strong rumor. But I think based on the surgery he had, he should be back under center for the 49ers when we play them.
Oh, and Nick says Trey Lance. There was also a lot of talk. I believe they signed Sam Darnold. So,
hey, Nick is now our new insider, James. So,
he's been keeping us straight tonight. So between him and Brandon's just excited about Nashville October 1st. He's got his cowboy hat.
I know you guys are going to go out there, and I've got a couple questions for you there. But in terms of the team, San Francisco, again, and we're going to say this a lot over this schedule, man, they are scary good. They are scary good. That defense is incredible. And once they got that offense clicking last year, as we saw a couple years ago, they've got the tight end. They've got the dynamic wide receiver. Now they've got the quarterback, with the right system. They may have very well gone to the Super Bowl last year and maybe should have. Now, you guys going out there, I have heard horror stories about getting to that stadium.
Yeah, it's in the middle of nowhere.
It's worse than Foxborough.
We got this. You bring that up. Hold on, I clicked on the wrong run. There is actually this group. There's a group of Cincinnati Bengals fans called Sanfernati. They meet at the bar every Bengals game out there. Probably 12, 13 years ago, the last time we played in Oakland, I actually met up with them at a tailgate in Oakland. We're working on a big party with them the night before. Stay tuned, Tom. We're gonna have like the VIP Bengal Gym buses, or according to AJ, it's gonna be Grandpa Gym buses that is headed to Santa. Is it Clarita? I don't even know.
Santa Clara. Tom, we bought 2 new helicopters for the tailgate this year, so we're going to make sure you get to every away game in our helicopter this year too, buddy. So we're there.
No jetpack?
No what?
No jetpack?
No jets, man. Sorry.
Jeez. All right.
All right. Let's say back to our schedule, but San Francisco, that's the one. I think Jimmy and I are in a race to see the Bengals play in every away stadium. San Francisco is one of 4 that I need that I can check off the list, and it barely worked. Tom, you got a stressful text from me when that schedule came out, because what was our talk before? Please don't make the San Francisco game in October.
I'm getting ready to come down here to the man cave to get on, and James is, I was getting ready to call the Indianapolis helpline for somebody having a mental breakdown, but he checked the calendar and everything is good.
So I get back to LA the day before. So hell or high water, Bengal Jim's not going to beat me at all.
Hey, so I got to find out. So my 3 stadiums I have left: San Francisco, Philly, and Washington. I got to check what day that Washington preseason game is. I might fly down there and back. Just
got to be regular season. Doesn't even count.
Yeah,
it does. It counts. Yes, it does. I'm counting preseason. I got to get there. COVID messed me up that last time.
Yeah, it did. We were all scheduled. Me, you, and Tony the Tiger.
Yeah, we were there.
We were there. All right, on to the schedule. So that puts us through the first 2 months of the season, and kick off the month of November at home. Sunday night football, the rematch of last year's Monday Night Football against the Buffalo Bills. Primetime game number 2 on the year.
Guys, hey, I am not shocked at all that's a Monday night or a primetime game. We knew it was. I thought it might be a Monday night game, but I feel bad for the Buffalo Bills coming in town on a Sunday night, coming to Cincinnati, because we're about to take it to those guys. We got their number. I feel it.
Yeah, I agree. I think we all knew that would be a primetime game. I thought it may be another Monday night game. Sunday night at home against the Bills. That's going to be a lot of fun.
Yeah, they're good. They're very, very good. But and I don't know, and certainly with everything that happened and how proud we all were as Bengal fans and how the city reacted to Damar Hamlin's injury, which thankfully looks like he's going to be back and will probably be there playing against us that night. And while we'll applaud him on the field, we'll cheer against him while he's playing. Did you guys really feel before he went down the Bengals were in control of that game? I know it was early.
We were kicking ass and taking.
Didn't you feel like? I mean, Joe Burrow was just firing on.
You got Jimmy shaking the screen. He's so excited about the ass kicking we were getting ready to put on.
Yeah, dude, we would have thumped them that night too, buddy. Just like we did to them in Buffalo, man. I don't know what it is. I think we match up very, very well on both sides of the ball against the Buffalo Bills. I think we really do.
Here's a good point. Again, we said. Let me click on the right one here. A lot of text coming in. Again, we appreciate everyone for tuning in. We're going to try to get all your comments up there, anything you want to talk about. But Jungle Jerry brings up a good point. He wants the whiteout. We talked about the Monday night game at home as the Rams against the whiteout. Correct me if I'm wrong. We can wear the white jerseys, but we can only wear – Jimmy, are we keeping you awake?
You know what? It's been a long day. Keep going.
But we can only wear the white helmets.
Twice.
Is that correct? So,
Twice? Yeah, we can wear it twice.
Okay, so maybe that'll be the second game there, Sunday Night Football at home against the Bills. I don't know what your great point was, Tom, but Jake liked it.
That's Tom's cousin.
It is not my cousin. He is not my cousin. My son-in-law, but he's not my cousin. So.
2 weeks in a row at home. The following Sunday, again, one of our few 1 o'clock kickoffs against the Texans of Houston. What was it? I remember, Jimmy, the last time we played at Houston, it was, I think, the week after Christmas. You and I just on a whim, I texted you. I was like, I'm going to Texas. And Jimmy goes, okay, I'm going too. So we go. I think that was a COVID year. There was 4,216 people in the stadium. And I'm not afraid. I was cheering for the loss because I wanted that higher draft pick. we ended up beating Deshaun Watson and whoever else the Texans had that year on the arm of Brandon Allen. So I think the next time that we face Houston here in the Paycor Stadium, the second weekend of November. Anything you guys want to add about the Houston game?
Houston's young. Houston's good. They had 2 very big draft picks. I'm glad we're playing them now and not in a couple years. But yeah, hopefully that shouldn't be a problem in November.
Yeah, I ain't scared. Nobody should be scared. Let's keep
rolling. We need Nick to fact check. They've got Stroud, right? The kid out of Ohio State. That's who they ended up drafting. So a lot of Ohio State fans will probably be happy to see their hometown kid come back to the Buckeye State for the Houston game. And then our one Thursday night game of the year. But for those watching social media, I think there's a chance we could play 2 Thursday night games, could be flexed. We mentioned earlier, normally our Thursday night games have been at home earlier in the year. This is a little change of pace for us, having the Thursday night game not only later in the year, but on the road. Happens against Baltimore. Thoughts?
Yeah, dude, I tell you what, man, that's a tough road game. It really is. Baltimore's a tough town to win in, but I don't know, man. I'm still not scared. I don't see a loss on the schedule so far, so I'm good. Tom, your comments?
Baltimore is good, but remember, we had so many games of our losses last year that were 1-score games. James and I talked at the beginning. Last year, first game against Pittsburgh, overtime, lost at a field goal at the gun in overtime. Same. Next week, lost by a field goal to Dallas, and really we should have won that game. Very easily could have won that game last year in Baltimore, and hopefully we'll be there again. Be interesting to see what Lou dials up to contain Lamar Jackson in a very, very good, very much improved Baltimore offense.
I'm going to pop this back up on the screen. Constantine from Germany says hello. I don't know what time it is in Germany, but he says 17-0. The one thing was rumored way back when it was an international game that was squashed pretty early that, hey, it wasn't going to happen this year. Of course, that came true yesterday when the international games were announced. But first, Houday, Constantine, and I know I'm hoping we go to Germany maybe next year. We've been to London twice now, and would love to see us go to Germany. But I wanted to get Constantine popped up here and say hey, and thanks for joining us, buddy. All right, Nick. Okay, here's Nick. Not only C.J. Stroud, Will Anderson, who they traded back up for to get, I believe, with the third pick. And then our favorite Floridian next to Tampa Terry. Mon is on. Aggressive fan base. Dudes want to roll. Hey, Mon. Oh.
Hey, Mon, do me a favor, man. Just type in a message. I think you said you were coming up for Jungle to the Hope. Hope you make it up here, buddy. So I think
Constantine says it's 3 a.m. in Germany. He gets fan of the night. If you stay up at 3 a.m. to watch the schedule release show, fan of the night right there.
No. Constantine works third shift in Germany, man. He's supposed to be working right, and he's watching the show.
He is working.
Just providing entertainment here.
Thanks for being part of the show tonight, buddy. It means a lot.
Sure. Yes, sir. All right, back to our schedule. Thanksgiving game, November 26th. And I think, Tom, you said the one thing you liked about that, we just talked about Thursday night, Baltimore, the week before. What is that? 3 extra days of rest that we're going to have going into what's going to be a tough AFC North game against Pittsburgh.
Yeah, the mini bye, as a lot of the players like to talk about it, going in. A couple extra days to heal up going against the Steelers because, no matter if the Steelers they're a power and a threat to go to the Super Bowl or whether they're in a down year, which really overall, let's be fair, their down years are still 500 with and threats to go to the playoffs with a week or two left in the year. It's always very physical. And so, yeah, a couple extra days to heal up and be at our best against the Steelers, I don't think is a bad thing at all. And hopefully use that mini bye to push us through the rest of the schedule.
And they got
guys,
last year, which was nice to have them earlier because, we played them week one last year, beat them on a game that ended up being flexed, if I'm not mistaken, Tom, there in Pittsburgh. And then, as we know, they got hot, and Tomlin continued his never have a losing season record. Apologize, Jimmy. You were going to say something.
No. It's interesting. I wanted to share something with the viewers tonight. So at the Folding Warehouse event, the Sam Hubbard charity fundraiser, Sam had a ton of his current teammates there. Cheezel Pete's, a lot of former players, but a lot of current players were there. I think most of the defense was there today. Joseph Osai, Jeffrey Gunther, Sam Hubbard, obviously. There was a bunch of them there. And you should have seen them huddling around their phones when the schedule was released, like right at 8 o'clock by the Bengals. I don't think they really knew what was going on in some of the games. They literally were together, grouped together, talking about, we got to go here. This is going to be awesome. So to hear the players, like just like us as the fans, get to hear that and see them react live, just like we did, was actually pretty fun to see at the Folding Warehouse tonight.
Eric has a comment, doesn't like how he has the Steelers playing as close to back-to-back. And sometimes that happens. What is it? Baltimore played Cleveland with like a 4-week stretch.
Twice in 3 weeks.
Yeah, so sometimes that schedule gets a little wonky. And I think, quite frankly, I think the NFL was scrambling a little bit this year with the whole Aaron Rodgers moving to the Jets and trying to get the Jets more primetime games, which I think threw a wrench into everything. Jungle Joe says 17-0. The Lombardi comes to 5-1-3. Any updates on Jungle to the Hall 3? We will interrupt the schedule talk. Tom, just go ahead and talk about Jungle to the Hall 3 right now.
Well, we'll save it to the end. We had a massive addition today with the announcement that Jamie will be coming down from Canada for Jungle to the Hall. I know, but my phone didn't quit going off. People looking to confirm the rumors, but we can confirm Jamie's coming down for Jungle to the Hall. But we'll talk about that. We've got a really nice roster, incredible roster of players, guests. There'll be a segment that'll be a little bit like a tailgate to start it off, and then presentation where we talk about our Bengal legends. And we just won't be endorsing and pushing and being frustrated for guys like Ken Anderson that should have been in a long time ago, Willie Anderson that should have been in a long time ago. But this year we get to celebrate, and Ken Riley. So that'll really be a beginning of fans celebrating all summer Ken Riley going in. But yeah, we'll get to that at the end as well.
One more teaser along those lines, Jimmy. How many Bengals would you envision we're going to see there?
I absolutely did not prepare for this. I think we're up to 17 or 18 former players. We did confirm just 100% that Ken Riley's flying in. Ken Riley II's flying in Friday, and we'll be at the event Saturday. James, we got to take him to Beer Fest that night as well. He's got to have some people to hang out with, so we're gonna take Ken Riley II and hang out with him all day Saturday. So we got a bunch of good games coming.
Tom's question here. Tickets are 100% free. Let me try to pull up a link here where you can go to the Eventbrite page. Right there on the banks between Great American Ballpark and Paycor. We do ask that you reserve a ticket just so we can get a head count. But I'm going to say there's going to be thousands down there at the banks for what's going to be a fun afternoon as we honor a lot of former Bengal greats.
Wear your black and orange, and as everybody said afterwards, our sponsor for this evening, and is always supported Cincy Beer Fest, and Craig, that will be happening at TQL Stadium that evening. Immediately after, there they are.
Look at that timing, man. Who needs Jamie? Look at that producer.
We don't need a professional producer. We're good.
We could just put that over Jimmy's head. We'd be good. All right.
We do that every week.
All right. Back to the schedule. We interrupted a little commercial there for Jungle to the Hall. So we ended off with Pittsburgh Thanksgiving weekend. I think, that's going back to that. A lot of people obviously come back home to Cincinnati that time of year to enjoy Thanksgiving with their families. So, hey, what better time stay an extra day and get to see the Bengals play. Then we are off to the Sunshine State December 4th. And judging by the comments here, that's like the most popular game of the year. People are jacked to go to Jacksonville.
Well, everybody was talking about they wanted to go, even though it was the heart of hurricane season, they wanted to go in September, early October, maybe have a couple days at the beach. I talked to one guy today who's an avid diver who quickly corrected me that part of Florida and the East Coast is crappy for diving, but he's all for putting together a fishing expedition on the SS Minnow. Yes.
Have we ever had a Bengal Gym fishing tournament?
Dude, that's what we're doing.
A fundraiser. How about that? Bengal Gym.
I will say I checked today the temperature around the 1st of December down there, the average high is 69, 70. So, hopefully it'll be beautiful down there, but who cares about the weather as long as the Bengals win?
Yeah. And again, guys, look, that's a really big matchup. Trevor Lawrence, Joe Burrow. This is going to be a great game. I'm telling you, it's the worst stadium I've ever been. I've been there 3-4 times. Every time I go, I don't know what it is. I don't know what it is. It's just like, I don't know, James. I was about to say something very bad live on air just now, but
here's the rules. Don't let Jimmy pick a restaurant in Jacksonville because he'll pick the worst dive, terrible place. And if
wait a minute, what's wrong? Wait a minute, what is wrong with the TGI Fridays in Jacksonville?
That's all thumbs up. His choice. But anyways, second of all, the last time we were there, that was the AJ Green, Jalen Ramsey
beat down. Yep.
Down. So it'll be good. And let's be honest, Jacksonville's playoff team on the rise. Trevor Lawrence, another good, yet another solid AFC quarterback. And quite frankly, this may be one of the few games Jacksonville has left. If you've heard a lot of the rumors, especially today, we know they're playing 2 games in Europe this year back to back. And the subtle behind the scenes talk is they need to renovate their stadium. So they might send them on sabbatical to Europe for a season or 2. We all know how bad that the NFL wants to get a permanent team over there. I personally don't think, just simply because of logistics, it'll ever happen. Tom, Waffle House would have been 100 times better than what Jimmy picked. But
I'm surprised nobody picked up on that. But everybody loves the TGI Fridays.
I digress, and Eric agrees with Bengal Jim. Terrible stadium, but again, any chance to get it out of the cold Midwest and get down to what we hope is sunny Florida. And stay tuned. We might have a fundraiser with a Bengal Gym fishing tournament leading up to. We need to do it like on a day when everybody's not going to be hungover, though. So maybe we got to time that. There's nothing worse than being a couple miles out on the water and puking over the side. But I digress. All right, let's get back to the schedule here. And after Jacksonville, back home, Tom, you thought this game was going to be on Christmas Eve, and probably would have made a lot of sense because of the close proximity of the teams. But December 10th, home against Anthony Richardson and the revamped Colts.
One of the best athletes to ever come out of college at the quarterback position. Note I said athletes because there's quite a bit of controversy as to how good a quarterback he's going to be. But certainly Indianapolis is hitching all their hopes on him. It'll be late in the year. Really, by that time of the year, there are no rookies. But, hopefully we will be earning our AFC power status and should be able to handle the Colts at home.
Yeah, that's just like us playing Madeira High School, man. We're going to thump the Colts here.
What's wrong with the Mustangs?
Mustangs
are tough.
My bad. Yeah, I don't know. Who are we talking about? Northwest High School? I don't know. We're gonna thump the Colts here. I'm sorry.
Knights are always tough too. Preston Brown's high school
in the Ohio cold, and I think above and beyond that, God bless Anthony Richardson. Showed well at the combine, but 12 starts to his collegiate career. So it'll be interesting, but we'll see. And then the week after, this is a 2 dates on the schedule, the 16th or the 17th. This is about the time college football is done, so you'll see the NFL have a potential Saturday or Sunday game, and that is the Minnesota Vikings. Kirk Cousins, Minnesota Vikings in the jungle on what could be a Saturday or Sunday with a time still to be determined. If you remember, were they 12-0, or did they just have a hot start, or they were pretty darn solid last year? The Vikings were top of the NFC for much of the season, and then of course had that first round loss against the Giants, losing to the wild card team, but pretty solid team in the NFC North there with the Vikings.
Yeah, they are a good team. We had that great game, very exciting game against them in overtime to start our run to the Super Bowl a couple of years back. But they're talented. They're well coached. I think we have a much better quarterback, and a quarterback that won't mind playing in the cold. Certainly they won't either. But, it should be a great game. I'm interested to see if it's Saturday or Sunday. And like you said, James, when the college season is over, the NFL doesn't mind throwing in some Saturday games, but if that might be a Saturday night game.
That'd be interesting. You know why the Ravens, the Bengals are going to thump them, because Mike Zimmer's no longer there. So we're good that game too, guys. So we got another dub.
I like that. I like your thinking, Jimmy. All right, moving on here. Then we go on the road 2 days before Christmas. So we didn't get what could have been a Christmas Eve game. We play actually Saturday. And again, that's going to give us a little more of a buffer that Tom will talk to going into Kansas City. So our Christmas, hopefully Christmas will not be ruined. It'll be an early Christmas present as we go to the catch-up field in Western PA.
Yeah, you're talking about a city full of Grinches. It's a great weekend, the perfect weekend to visit up there. You got, nothing but Grinches. Scrooge is a hero in that town. So, but so if you're looking at the bad part of Christmas, it's there. So hopefully, they're not giving out cheap shots as presents. They're pretty good at that, and the boys come home with a win and healthy. The reason I like this game is several reasons. The scheduling. It's a Saturday game, which means no drama on Christmas Eve. Christmas Eve is now open for family, and that is not a concern. But also, the Chiefs play Christmas Day, 2 days later, 2 days after the Bengals play on Saturday, and then we play the Chiefs the following week. So it's not really a bye, but we'll have 2 extra days of rest on the Chiefs, or the Chiefs will only have 6 days to get ready for us, and we'll have 8. So I like that a little bit. It gives some guys an extra day to heal up, an extra couple days to get some therapy and so forth, and an extra couple days for Lou to dial up, whatever poison pill he's got ready for Patrick Mahomes this year.
They got our Bengals schedule up on ESPN now, but perfect segue there into Kansas City. I think if you would have bet me $100 if that game would have been earlier in the year or later in the year, I would have put the money earlier in the year. End of the year, let's hope that game's not going to mean much for us with the AFC North #1 seed locked in, but we'll see. Anything you want to touch on? Jimmy, coming back from Kansas City just a week or so ago?
Yeah. These last 2 games of the year really not going to mean anything. We got the #1 seed locked up. Whoever backup quarterback's going to be is going to win those last 2 games for us anyhow. So we're going to have that #1 seed locked up pretty early. So I tell you what, I'm not surprised we're playing this late in the year, that primetime game in Kansas City. I'd rather it be later in the year than opening day in Kansas City. So I'm excited about that game, guys. I know that's a tough matchup. That's one of the best rivalries in the NFL as we speak today. So I'm excited about it. I think it's a great thing for the NFL and fans. And I will be in Kansas City for that game as well.
A couple of people were talking, why would they put that game so late? These teams might see each other another couple of weeks later in the playoffs. Well, whatever, they did it. And, that's the schedule we're going to play. Moving on to that final game. We start at Cleveland. We end at home in Cleveland. So bookend by the Browns. One interesting note along those lines, 3 out of the first 5 games we start on the road. 3 of the last 5 are at home, which was very reminiscent of last year's schedule. But let's talk about that season finale. Again, not only an AFC team, but an AFC North team that we play to end week, 18? How many weeks we got nowadays?
18. Yeah, week 18. Well, like we said to start the season, that is a very talented roster. We'll have to see how their quarterback has adjusted to that, and if he's showing and displaying all of his talents. But they've got in my opinion, the best pass rusher in the league, and Myles Garrett. So I'm sure, especially if they're fighting for a playoff spot, it'll be a big game. And like Jimmy said, though, hopefully we've got everything sewn up that we can have sewn up by that point, and we're resting guys. But Cleveland's legit. They've got legit talent. It's a big year. Just like Lamar Jackson has a lot of pressure on him. So does their quarterback. So we'll see how they're going. They've got him some new toys. They've got him some good wide receivers. I think they've strengthened their depth on defense. And we all know they can run the ball. They run the ball very, very well against us. Nick Chubb seems to have his way. So we'll see. We'll see what's going on.
Yeah, I'll tell you guys. Look, I'm not trying to be funny when I say that. Make this comment, guys. The Browns are stacked. You ain't lying, Tom. But the problem that I see in the AFC North is they don't have the quarterbacks to compete with us. I mean, they've got every position locked up. I think the Browns are lacking at quarterback. I still think the Ravens don't have a quarterback. And I think the Steelers have a second-year quarterback who's going to make a lot of mistakes. The Browns might be in their fifth damn quarterback by that time of the year. I don't know. I'm not playing. I just don't think the Browns have the quarterback to win in this league. You can be stacked everywhere you want. If you don't have the quarterback, you're not winning in this league. That is the city up north's issue, in my opinion.
So that recaps the season from start to finish. So we're going to have David Fulcher say a couple words.
Preview. This is the 2-minute warning.
Well, Tom, you and I were here early. We're going to let Jimmy lead off the ending here because he was yawning. We want him to get him to bed. He's got to be in bed by 9:30. So we're going to let our late arriving fearless leader kick us off. Yeah,
so David Fulcher, the 2-minute warning, will be at Jungle to the Hall. And I will get out. We're starting a media push here. We locked up. It looks like we're up to 12 different vendors that are going to be there. Cook Sporting Goods, Cincy Shirts, Black Owned. We've got all kinds of folks setting up shop down there on the banks outside that day. I'll get some information out to everybody here very soon and be specific on the players that are going to be there. Tom, I'm going to go ahead and make this announcement, go out on a limb. The receiver from Purdue that we drafted, what's his name again?
Charlie Jones.
There's a pretty good chance he's going to be at Jungle to the Hall as well, guys. So just pay attention to social media platforms wherever you guys follow us at. We'll make sure we come to you and post those things. We really want you to make sure that you get an RSVP there. I mean, we expect a massive turnout. We just want to get an idea for exactly how big this thing's going to be. But we've got a lot of fun stuff going on that day, and I'm really excited about just taking the Jungle to the Hall to a whole nother level. Again, we're going to have fun, do a lot of different things, but remember the focus is on our guys that should absolutely be in the Hall of Fame, and specifically focusing on celebrating Ken Riley getting in this year, talking about Willie Anderson and Ken Anderson as well as our significant push and focus there. So thanks everybody for tuning in. Look, this is our off season, so we don't have regularly scheduled shows in the off season. So a lot of good viewers here, a lot of viewers tonight. Thanks for all the participation. We have got some major freaking announcements. I cannot wait to announce these. We James and Tom and Tony and Dell and Craig and everybody. We have been working really hard in the off season. Just when we think you can't top what we did last year, wait till you hear what's getting ready to go down at the block party down on the river across the street from the stadium this year. We're very excited to get some news out to you here very shortly about some fun things we got going on. But thanks a lot for being with us tonight. Appreciate it.
Along those lines, we're going to let Tom end it tonight. But great turnout here on simply announcing the 2023 schedule. I think that goes to show you how excited Bengals fans are for the season. You know, there's so many. I personally don't schedule anything in the fall, so this comes out. We'll fill that in first, and then fill in everything else, family stuff that needs to come in and around it, and traveling and things like that. But just the excitement for everybody that tuned in, and going to the Jungle to the Hall, our next big event on June 10th. There's a lot of you. There's going to be thousands of you there at the banks that day. But if you can't make it, retweet the stuff on Twitter, share the stuff on social media, use the hashtag jungle to the hall, because it's because of you, the fans, hard work, sharing, posting, being positive, that we saw Ken Riley get inducted this August, and we're not done yet. There's a lot more, but just keep it going. You know, you can do it from your couch. You can do it from sitting on your lunch break at work. Just share it, be positive, keep fighting the good fight, because it's working. Obviously, the Bengals play on the field has helped, but the Bengals fans, you know, Constantine's still here from Germany. It's worldwide. The Bengals fans from around the globe watching, and you don't have to be there in June 10th. We'd love to see you there June 10th, but share away. Tom, go ahead and end it for us tonight.
No, you know, in addition, like we said, it's going to have a little bit of tailgate flair to it, and a lot of celebrating and football talk. But the main thing is to push and celebrate our Bengal greats and the great players that we've had, and the guys that have not been put in the Hall of Fame, but so much deserve to be there. And Ken Anderson, Willie Anderson, we celebrate the induction of Ken Riley, but you know, the Max Montoyas of the world, and you know, and so many others. They're going to be a great roster, and Jimmy will have that out on social media consistently between now and June 10th. But please, it's free. Come down to the banks, visit and listen with these Bengal greats. Shop the vendors. I think in addition, the Bengals Pro Shop is going to be open that day. They're not going to be open that day, Jimmy?
They're not coming down, but they're going to be
open. Yeah, they're just down at the end of the street. The Bengals Pro Shop will be open that day, so please visit them as well. They're fantastic people.
And then how we end in the night?
What's that?
And how we end in the night on June 10th?
It's Beer Fest, and you see the insignia up there.
Yes.
That's if he gets back from Maui. I guess if he comes back, if he wants to come back. Yeah, TQL Stadium, Cincy Beer Fest that night. But yeah, please come down and you know, celebrate the success of the team, but mostly help support and bring attention to the very deserving Bengals that should be in the Hall of Fame. And again, thanks to everybody. It's been a fantastic season. We will, on the regular show, as we term it, be going dark until July 9th. There is a chance, just like tonight's show was special, that we could pop in with a special show with maybe a special blockbuster contract extension announcement or something like that. And, you know, I know you guys have already kind of signed off, but real quick, because this is something that's kind of decided while we're not on, who are your two picks for the Ring of Honor this year?
James, you first.
I'm just going to go with Chad again. That was my pick last year, and you guys are.
Tom, put him on the spot, baby.
Oh, yeah. On the spot. I'm going to go with. Oh, damn it, Tom. Chad. You type in your comments here before we go off the air who your two would be. I'm going to think about the second one. Jimmy, do you want to go ahead and give your two?
Yeah, I got mine. I'm putting my money on two OGs. I'm going Eddie Edwards, the all-time sack leader in Bengal history, and I'm going Lamar Parrish. I really, really want to get these older guys in. And here's the thing. Everybody's argument, whatever you say, all these guys deserve to be in. Just I want to get some of the old OGs in here. I want them to be here to experience them going into the Ring of Honor. So I got Eddie Edwards and Lamar Parrish this year.
Yeah, there's a lot of criteria that goes into who should be on that ring. And for me, the first one that stands out is who belongs in the Hall of Fame. Because as we've talked to guys, and I've talked to guys, voters off the air, it does mean something for their name to be in that stadium when the national TV cameras come in. And Lamar Parrish deserves to be in Canton. But also I'm going to go with another guy for the Ring of Honor. And this is probably tipping our hand a little bit, but Dave Lapham. Dave Lapham deserves to be in as a broadcaster. So if he goes on that Ring of Honor, the number 62 should be there, and probably a little microphone. And
I was going to say Lapham, and you guys would accuse me of my Syracuse bias. So
go right ahead.
We would have.
Yeah, I know you would have. You would have. So a lot of comments. Chad, AJ, Max Montoya, Reggie Williams. A lot of Lamar Parrish is here.
Hey, James, but can you imagine now how fun would that be with Chad and AJ Green?
Then you got AJ.
I don't think. I think they approach it like the Hall of Fame. You have to be out of the game for 5 because, like, Geno Atkins is not eligible yet.
AJ Arnett is drinking right now for sure. Tez and Pac-Man, come on.
If you had a house of all those girls, I'd be drinking too. God bless our fellow New Yorker up there. Laugh at, well, you're getting a lot of, I was going to say, there you go. A lot of love for Dave Lapham in there. So, again, we appreciate everyone joining us June 10th, Jungle to the Hall. Stay tuned to social media channels. As Jimmy said, we're going to have a big announcement coming up maybe as soon as next week. And it's an exciting time to be a Bengals fan. Now, instead of pencil, you can write in permanent Sharpie marker your plans for the fall. And whether it's at the tailgate, whether it's at Jungle to the Hall, whether it's at Paycor Stadium, we're looking forward to the 2023 season. We know where we're going to be now. And Hoo day, everybody.
Hoo day.
Thanks.
Love you guys.